Hi guys, alright, I am sorry for the quality of this video. Most of it's because of the lighting. It's about almost 10 o'clock at night. But I wanted to kind of make a video for you guys because I know maybe about a week and a half ago I uploaded Maddie's 8-month. I have her 9-month recorded. It's just the process of getting it uploaded and edited and uploaded. There's not much editing, it's just finishing everything. But I just want to kind of come on here and give you guys an update on breastfeeding and pumping, because I know I didn't really talk about that. As many of you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, before I had Maddie, I had explained that my ultimate goal was to breastfeed. I wanted to make at least 6 weeks. Well, hold on. I had my like bucket list or my goals that I did probably about 2 weeks before I had Maddie, and they were just things I'd like to accomplish with breastfeeding. The first was to make it 6 weeks. Then it was to have at least 100 ounces saved in my air freezer. Then it was to go to 3 months, to have 250 ounces in our freezer, to make it 6 months, and to have 500 ounces in our freezer. And then it was to make it to 9 months, and then it was to have 1,000 ounces in our freezer, and then to make it a year. And then at that point, I did not care what I accomplished at that point, just because if I made it to a year, even if I made it longer than I did with Tiny, I was still happy. I'm very happy today. I have made it farther than I did with Tiny. Still haven't had those moments of going, I want to give up, especially because we're doing more pumping than we are breastfeeding, which if any of you guys, if you work or you pump, if you pump at least twice a day, you can understand kind of how I feel. I have to pump about 6 times a day, and just kind of give you guys an idea of my life. I get up in the morning with the kids, get Mikey onto the bus. I get up in the morning, I pump, get Mikey on the bus, then I get Tiny up, I get Maddie up, feed Maddie, then I pump again. Then we walk up to my mom's house because she's only a little bit away, so we go there to play for a little bit, come home, I pump again while Maddie's taking her nap, then I put Tiny on the bus, wake up Maddie, and then I have Mikey at that point. Then I have to pump again at like 1 o'clock, then I get Tiny off the bus at 3 o'clock because I've been out of work because I hurt my back at work probably about a month ago, and still having some issues with my back, so this is the schedule right now. Normally I would head to work at 2 o'clock, so I'd be working and pumping, but being home, I'm at 3 o'clock I get her off the bus, then I have to pump again, then they go over to my in-laws' house to go kind of play, then I have to pump again, then I eat, I pump, and I spend so much time pumping, and then in between those times, Maddie will actually breastfeed, maybe 1 or 2 times. So, and it's not as simple as just breastfeeding. Breastfeeding, you just kind of open up and feed. Pumping, you get the pump, and then you're attached to the wall, and even if I wasn't attached to the wall, because I do have a swing pump, so I could kind of be, doing stuff, but you can only do so much when you're pumping, I've done dishes while I've been pumping, I've, cleared the table while I was pumping, I've done all those type of things while I've pumped, when I'd say, okay, I've got so much to do, but it's still, still pumping. So, really, I can say that we have exclusively breast pumped now for a year now, 6 months. We started beginning of January, just really pumping. She was still at that point breastfeeding during the day, but it was more pumping than it was breastfeeding, which kind of bothers me. I really wanted to have her just on breast milk, but it was the hand I was dealt. I can't change it. I think everybody that breastfeeds, well, especially if you breastfeed and you pump, especially if you head back to work, you are faced with some challenges with pumping, because especially if you've pumped for a while, I hope I'm not the only one that's had this feeling where you just go, I just want to be done pumping. You don't want to be done breastfeeding, you just want to be done pumping. Like, to me, I would stop pumping if I could just get her to breastfeed. But she needs the extra calories, so I can't just stop. But we're still pumping. She's going to be 10 months in 2 weeks. I don't see myself saying I'm done pumping. But I don't really see myself pumping after a year. Because also work doesn't have to provide me the time to pump, nor do they have to provide me a space to pump after the child's a year old. So that makes me run into the problem of my employer not really being all men. But they don't have to. They could very well still, obviously, because there's a lot of teachers that ended up having babies and are breastfeeding, so that room will still be there. It's just I'm not going to be able to pump as often as I have to keep my supply up, to keep up with her demands. I still pump about 24 to 26 ounces. It depends on the day. When I have my period, I go all the way down to 10 ounces. But that's where that 1,000 ounces really did come in handy to really kind of help. So she primarily gets breast milk. I think I probably did at some point explain her little mixture, but her mix is 6 ounces of breast milk, 1 scoop that comes in the can of the Alimentum, 1 of those, and then a half a teaspoon of canola oil, and that's all to try to help her put on weight. So luckily doing that has been nice. Granted, insurance is paying for her formula, but if they weren't, we dealt with it with Tiny. It got very expensive after a while. So this time it is very nice to have insurance be covering the formula this time, but we're not using as much. So we've been able to kind of donate the stuff that we aren't using to people that are in a situation where insurance isn't helping. Because if you have a child on the Alimentum, understand that the stuff is expensive. This can in Connecticut is $28. It is only a pound. $28. There is no generic, so it's expensive. So yeah, I know I've said a couple. I know that I've said a couple times in the videos that I'm going to try to get back into the swing of doing things, and I'm going to try. It's been very hectic with, if you haven't watched her 8-month, watch it, because it kind of goes into a little bit more, I told you guys about that we had DCF involved, both Child Protective Services. We had, just dealing with getting her to put that weight on, getting used to that G-tube, which I feel very confident now with it. Not comfortable enough changing it myself yet. A little scary. hurting my back. Mike losing his job. It's been a crazy year for us. Just even looking at the school year, it's been a crazy school year. So, but anyways, enough about everything else. So, yes, we are still breastfeeding. Yes, we're still pumping. So I'll talk to you guys later.